Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, all sim racing fans. Welcome to E-BaTCC round 4 to the Lithuanian track of Nemuno Ziedas. In case you can't pronounce it, and almost nobody can, you can call it Kachergine or you can call it simply Kaunas. Anyway, it's the track itself is situated about 15 kilometers from the second largest Lithuanian town of Kaunas. That's in real life, but virtually we will have it on our computers. 3.3 kilometers is the length of the track. It has 10 turns, and quite bizarrely, if you look at the track maps which are on the internet, for example in Wikipedia, then you find that there are 10 turns, but turn 10 is actually the first one. So I will use that count, even if it's quite strange, but to know about what I'm talking. Anyway, our BMW 325 Cup racers are already on the track doing their quali laps, and Tauras Tunyla, who is second in point standings, is leading in front of points leader Jan Nimts. Actually, Nimts has won qualifications during all previous 3 rounds. So if Tunyla manages to beat him at his home track, it will be first time in this season that Nimts will be beaten in qualification. We will see. The gap between them is now some 16 hundredths of the second. So not that big. Simonas Urbonas is currently third. Is only 1/10 behind Nimts, and Risto Capet is fourth, even closer to Urbonas. Then there is a little bit larger gap, and fifth placed Tavis Peter is some 2/10 behind Capet. And if you look at the drivers, you look at the timing tower, we can't see bottom 2 rows, but I can tell you that we have a French driver at the start today. Uldis Timaks is currently 23rd in qualification, and as far as I know, at least in Division 1, he is the first French driver. And now he's 21st, so you can see him in the timing tower as well. And actually, he's also a real world racer racing in Euro NASCAR. But this picture comes from third placed man Simonas Urbonas. We have only 15 seconds until the end of qualification, so Urbonas is on his final fast lap. Can he improve? No, he can't. He pulls away. But this is Jan Nimts. Now time is over, and yes, it has happened. Nimts was beaten in qualification first time during this season by Tauras Tunyla. And you can see that the margin is quite large, more than 2/10. Tunyla is really, really fast, and the only driver who managed to do this lap under 1 minute and 18 seconds. So we will see. Now we have 2 races for BMWs. 20 minutes are the duration of those races. Aurimas Mistautas just jumped into P5, actually after checkered flag already. And there are some more drivers who managed to improve their positions and times. So first row will be Tunyla and Nimts, second row Urbonas Capet, third row Ries and Bitte, fourth row Kobosnice Ozolinj, and fifth row will be Reisin and Straupe. All Baltic nations represented in top 10, and also Germany, and Nika Kobosnitsa comes from Georgia. And where is French driver Uldis Timaks? Is 22nd, so he will start race 1 from that position. Talking about point standings, as I told, Jan Nimts is a leader after 3 rounds. Bizarrely, he has not won any of those 3 rounds, but he has won first races during all of those rounds and gathered good points in second races as well. So he has 176 points, and Tauras Tunyla in second is 19 points behind him. Risto Kapet, Estonian driver, in third is just 3 points behind Tunyla, but then there is a large gap to fourth place Simonas Urbonas, who is 30 points behind Kapet. Paul-August Lääne, another Estonian driver, is fifth, and Urmas Riis, who missed round 1, is sixth. So now countdown is going. 30 seconds still, and then cars will be placed onto the grid positions. Nika Kobosnitsa, Georgian driver, is 7th overall, Taavi Splitte 8th, Haroldas Jotautas 9th, and top 10 is completed by Janis Straupe. We have 24 drivers on the track as usually in Division 1, and Division 2 is with 22 drivers today. We had more than 50 participants in pre-qualification, and thus we should have 3 divisions, but of course obviously some of those are not participating today. So we have 24 in Division 1 and 22 in Division 2. Just a little bit more than 1 minute. Tunyla on the left side in that black and green car. Nimts on the right side in white car. Then third place belongs to Simonas Urbonas, and fourth is Risto Kapet, and so on and so on. We will see. 20 minutes is the race duration, and it will probably be 15 or maybe 16 laps. It depends. And points will be awarded to all 24 drivers in Division 1. Winner takes 40 points, second one 30, third 25, fourth 22, fifth 20, and so one by one until 24th. Now everything is ready, or should be ready, for race 1. Just a few seconds until the start lights will go on and then off. Tauras Tunyla won race 2 during previous meeting, and he was also the overall winner. So lights are going on now. And here we go. Tunyla on the outside. Yet not the best start. Nimts is on the inside. Can he do something? Kapet, meanwhile, is already in front of Urbonas. At least his nose is in front. First two are banging doors through turn 10. Yes, this is turn 10, and now they are approaching turn 1. Quite a bizarre thing. But who is emerging first from turn 1? Is it Nimts? They are side by side still, but I think, yeah, Tunyla got a huge slide out of turn 2, and it gave a possibility to Kapet, but Kapet now was boxed onto the outside. Can he keep V3? Yes, he can. But Nimts, meanwhile, is first already, as he has been in all 3 first races during the season. But this is, of course, only lap 1. Somebody is already in the forest. The track is very, very tricky, and this spot, especially turn 7, you see over the crest turning in the same time. Cars are going to be lighter, and here is after turn 8 there is another crest, and where you can get another slide or even crash, and then onto the full speed towards turn 10. Urmas Riis has lost a lot of places. He started from 5th, but now he's 9th. And there is battle for P6. Promet Racing is currently 6th in front of Janis Straub and Davis Pitte. And the following group is now led by Urmas Riis. This is Promet Racing still in that. Wow, somebody's trying to get back to the track from gravel trap, and there were multiple collisions. It was Nika Kobusnitsa, I guess. Anyway, several drivers has gained positions in this situation. And talking about leaders, Nimts is still in front, but Kudinavicius has now managed to shake off both Capet and Urbonas, and he's closing in the gap to Nimts. Now they will complete lap 2. And Kudinavicius, yes, Kudinavicius set the fastest lap. Everybody is closely together here. Turn 10 is very, very fast left-hander. And very long as well. So those cars basically full throttle, as is turn 1. Then the track drops away towards turn 2. This is David Pitte, 6th place driver in front of his compatriot Janis Straub and another Latvian driver, Karlis Ozoliņš, and Straub tries to go inside through turn 5. Now it puts him onto the outside, and there is it Risto Capet? Yes, that is Risto Capet went off the track in turn 6. So it means that in this race he is not going to fight for the highest positions. Oh, what a bad luck. We didn't see, was there any contact with Urbonas or wasn't? But the fact is that Capet is now down out of top 20 anyway. And Promet Racing gained a position as a result, and he is now 4th. But the gaps between first 2, Nimts and Kudinavicius, that is now under 1 second. So here they go. Nimts still in front, and what we have seen, actually we have seen those 2 drivers together during almost all first races, during all 3 previous meetings, and only once there were some passing maneuvers. They swapped positions 1 or 2 times, but let's see. Kudinavicius has been much faster during practices and in qualification as well, but can he overtake his German rival? It's a totally different thing. And Urbanavicius in 3rd is a long way back already, and the same can be said about Reis in 4th. Urbonas in 3rd. In front of him is more than 2.5 seconds away already. All laps completed. Almost exactly half a second between Nimts and Kudinavicius. Urbonas 3rd, Reis in 4th, and then a long train of cars, or group of cars. 6 of them, Straub, Ozoliņš, Balčiūnas, Riis, Kubarevs, and cutting from P5 downwards. And it's interesting if Kudinavicius will feel that he is faster, where can he overtake at all? Because there are no heavy braking. There is no heavy braking. But he's now very close through turn 7. The main thing, of course, for Nimts is not to make any mistakes. Now turn 8 over the crest once again. And you can get slide here very easily. Nimts has everything under control, covers the inside of turn 10, but Kudinavicius tries to go there. No, thinks better of it. And 5 laps are already completed. It took almost 7 minutes from our 2 leaders. And Capet is now back in 13th. So the fight back has been quite a good one. But can he recover into top 10? It should be possible. Because the gaps actually up to P11 are quite small. Let's see. And the main thing, of course, is what are those two going to do? German Jan Nimts and Lithuanian Tauras Kudinavicius. Kudinavicius is now on the inside, looking to the inside actually through turn 6. But normally it's not a place where you are going to be sideways with your rival. It's the slightest touch will send you off track there and perhaps into the barriers or between the trees, and that's sure you don't want. Now 6th lap is now completed by our 2 leaders, and Simonas Urbonas in 3rd is now already more than 3 seconds behind. Kudinavicius runs a little bit wide into turn 10, but it gives him better exit to the next straight, and you see what happens here. Kudinavicius is now on the inside of Nimts as they are negotiating turn 2. Next turn is on to the right. And yeah, that's what I was afraid of. There was a contact, slightest contact. Kudinavicius went off into the gravel in turn 3, and although he managed to keep the car going, he's now in 3rd. Urbonas jumped him as well, and now Nimts should be clearly in the front and just be able to drive away from Urbonas. The question, of course, is if there was a contact and if it will be a punishable. And Bita has caught Raisin in 4th, so Raisin was almost 2 seconds in front of Bita. Now they are together. And meanwhile, it seems that Nimts has let Kudinavicius Urbonas by into the lead, and he's perhaps feeling that his move was the one which sent Kudinavicius off track. So is it he's going to give his position away to Kudinavicius to avoid penalty? It may be the case. We will see anyway. Anyway, Simonas Urbonas is leading the race after 7 laps, and it's quite a sensation, I would say, because Nimts and Kudinavicius were so much faster than him. But after that collision where Kudinavicius went off and Raisin has lost several positions already. 1 lap ago he was 4th, now he's already 8th, and Simonas Palciunas is looking how to overtake him. And here Pitte and Kubarevs, no, Pitte and Ozolinch. Pitte and Kubarev, sorry. I are trying. Pitte and Ozolinch, still Pitte is in this yellow car, and Ozolinch is now in front of him in that white blue and red one. There was some door banging between them, but as an end result, Ozolin is now in front of his compatriot in 5th. And another, wow, then this is Kubarev's, who went out, and there were several collisions. How many cars? Racing was involved, and somebody coming from back was also an innocent victim in this situation. So now Urbonos leading, Nimts and Kudinavicius together once again. Nimts is still in front. But we already once saw how Kudinavicius was able to overtake his German rival, just exiting this turn 10 better than Nimts and gaining an advantage into the next corner, but it's not seemingly the case this time. Nimts, of course, now knows what to fear here and tries to position his car better. And this is Urmas Riis, who has just gained a position, overtaking Simonas Balčiūnas. Once more restarted from P5, but made a terrible start and dropped outside of top 10. Even now he's fighting back. And where is Capet? Capet is currently 9th already, but if you look at the gap in front of him to Balčiūnas, it is 5.5 seconds almost. So it will be extremely hard for Capet to catch Balčiūnas. But here Nimts is defending his position against Kudinavicius, while Urbonos is more than 2 seconds down the road in front of them. Nimts here made a slight mistake. He's still in front, but Kudinavicius had a look to the inside, does it once more, and whoa! Kudinavicius was so much sideways exiting turn 2. Somehow he managed to stay on the tarmac, but it also means that Nimts got a little breathing space. Kudinavicius is flashing his lights, but Nimts is still in front. And it also means that Urbonas is now already 2.5 seconds in front of them with only 5.5 minutes to go. Traupe in 4th, Osalins 5th, Bitte 6th, and Riis 7th. Here comes Traupe, then Osalins, then Bitte. Then Riis, who is almost shaken off Balčiūnas, and Capet should be the next one. Yes, he is. In P9, and top 10 will be completed by Paul August Lääne, another Estonian driver. But let's follow Nimts and Kudinavicius, because I'm almost sure that the remaining 5 minutes will be filled with a fight between those two. Top 2 in point standings. Nimts made a slightly better start and took the lead, and Kudinavicius tried everything, and he was almost past his German rival once, but ended up in the gravel trap. Was able to continue, but it means they are not first and second now, but third and fourth. Second and third. And there is no sign that Simonas Urbonas, who has led this race for a best part of 5 laps, perhaps now he is going to surrender his lead. No, he's not, but this is Kudinavicius into turn 10 once more, going to the inside, and this time he is by And he's clearly by, but he goes wide on the exit. Can Nimts retaliate? No, he can't. So Tauras Tunyla is now in second. Jan Nimts is third, but Nimts clearly hasn't dropped the gun. He's still trying to keep his Lithuanian rival honest, and not only keep honest, but of course he's trying to retaliate. But only 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. It means perhaps 3 laps. It will be very difficult for him. And Urbonas, meanwhile, has increased his lead even more. It is now over 3 seconds. And looking at the clock, there is less than 3 minutes remaining. Now we can say that Tunyla is already gone for Nimts. Raupe is clearly in fourth, Ozolinch fifth, Pete sixth, Rees is coming in P7, Balchunas is eighth, and Capet try as his might. Also, he has cut 2 seconds out of Balchunas' lead over him, so we should follow this. And you can see that Capet has been 0.7 seconds faster than Balchunas over the previous lap, so he may be able to catch Lithuanian. Anyway, a little bit more than 2 minutes remaining in race 1. Simonas Urbonas is closing in to his first victory, and it will be the first meeting in E-BaTCC Season 3 where Jan Nimts hasn't won race 1, but we will see. There is still 1 minute and 40 seconds, and it means 2 laps for our leaders. So next time Simonas Urbonas crosses the finish line, he starts his penultimate lap, but you can see that battles are going on everywhere. This is for P15, 16 and 17, and Estonian driver Germo Kalda is in 17th. And there are 2 cars in front of them. Janis Kovalevski is Latvian, and Uldis Timaks, Frenchman, is the first in this trio, but now he's under attack from the Latvian driver. You can see Latvian's car was on 2 wheels out of turn 8. Is he going to lose his position? Germo Kalda now going to the inside. 3 cars into 1 turn. Can they make it? Yes, they could. But now side by side towards turn 1. Kalda is on the inside, but a few car lengths behind, so he thinks better of it. And Telso has lost his position to Kovalevski as it stands, and Kalda tries to follow the Latvian. But Telso is going to turn 3 to the inside and jumps the Latvian, and Kovalevski loses another position when he went a little bit wide. And this is Urbonas, the leader, has dropped the ball going on to the final lap, and it means that Jan Nimts is moving towards his 4th victory in opening race. So how on earth did Urbonas do it? We saw only the aftermath of it, and somehow Tunyla was involved as well. You can see that Straupe is only 0.8 seconds behind him, and the final lap is underway. So everything changed. Everything changed with less than 3 kilometers to go. Simonas Urbonas, who had 3 seconds, more than 3 seconds in his hand over battling pair of Tunyla and Nimts, managed to make a mistake and lost the victory. And here comes Janis, 4th time in a row. He is a winner of race 1 in E-BaTCC. But who is going to be second? And even more important, who is going to be third, fourth, and fifth? Second is Kudinavicius, third Straupe, fourth is Urbonas, fifth Bitte, sixth Osolins, seventh Rees. Balchunas comes home eighth. Capet will be 10th. And Lane seemingly will be 10th, or is he? Yes, he is. He is in front of that group. Markiavicius is 11th, Kubarev 12th, Piermets 13th, and Nikolai Zhuravlyov is 14th. Last time Zhuravlyov won Division 2. But those two drivers, Uldis Timaks and Germo Kalda, side by side over the line, and Kalda was in front of Frenchman by just 0.003 seconds. Was he? Actually, timing shows. Yes, timing shows that Kalda was in front of Del Sol. They were side by side over the line, and Estonian managed to beat the Frenchman just during the very final meters of the race. So, once again, if the 20 minutes of race 1 are over, Janis is the winner, 4th time in a row. Tauras Tunyla second after a very eventful race, and Janis Straupe in third. So the next race will be top 10 of this race will be reversed on the grid, and it means that Paul August Lääne and Risto Capet will start from front row. Now we will make a short break until race 2. Stay with us. See you after a few minutes. Welcome back to E-BaTCC for our BMW 325 Cup Race 2. Paul August Lääne on the left side of the picture is the man who finished 10th in race 1 and thus he is the poleman for race 2, Risto Kapet, who was third in point standings today in the morning at least. He's starting in P2. Kapet went off during the race and lost lots of positions, but fought back to 9th. And those who didn't follow our race 1, of course, Jan Nimts was winner again, 4th time in a row in front of Tauras Tunyla, but this time the race was really eventful. Simonas Urbonas was leading the race, even going into the final lap. Now, lights will be go on in few seconds and race 2 can begin. And here we go. Kapet got a very good start. Lääne was delayed for whatever reason, so three Estonians in front, Kapet, Riis and Lääne. Going through turn 10. Yes, this turn is called turn 10, even if it is the first one after the start, and it was Karlis Ozolinš who went wide in turn 10. Now Kapet in front, Riis and Lääne, and wow, what a flight here. It was not Risto Kapet. Risto Kapet is leading the race in front of Tuomas Riis and Paul August Lääne, so 1, 2, 3, 4 Estonians. And there is some argy-bargy going in turn 4. Everybody at least remained on the tarmac this time. And this is Romet Raisin looking very racy on the outside. Raisin is currently 14th in that orange and blue car. Andres Kubarevs in that violet and blue car in front of him. Everybody's more or less together, and Nimts is where? 7th already, starting from 10th, and you can guess it, that Kudinavicius is on his rear bumper, as we have seen on many, many occasions. And we see the best part of race 1, the same picture, Nimts in front of Kudinavicius in whatever positions. But yes, Nimts has made good progress, 3 positions during one single lap, not bad at all. And this is Raisin and Piirmets, 2 Estonians once again. Piirmets is now in front of Raisin, and Kubarevs used the occasion and went by as well. And that white, blue and red car is Karlis Ozolinš, who we saw went off in turn 1 during the first lap. And Nimts is now behind Davis Peter, trying to overtake into turn 8. It's not usually the place where you are going to overtake, but Nimts now took a huge risk. Can he stay on the track? Yes, he can, but Kudinavicius is running wide and lost 2 positions in one go, or even more maybe, because track is... Ah! That is big carnage. One of those cars going off was Raisin for sure. But those 2 in front, Kapet and Riis, have perhaps already checked out. Urbonas is now 3rd. The unlucky leader in race 1 is victory evaporated with only 3 kilometers, a little bit more than 1 minute to go. What exactly happened we didn't see, but perhaps he made a mistake entering turn 10. Anyway, they were Del So and Calda, Frenchman and Estonian. They were disputing P15 during race 1 until the dying seconds, and Estonian was in front, but this is the lower part of top 10, and you saw that it was Kudinavicius who went off once again. He now tries to recover, but it will be very difficult for him, just forcing his rivals off track, and his car maybe not in the best working order. This is Simonas Balciūnas attacking Paul August Lääne for fourth. Lääne is sideways through turn one. Can he stay on the track? Yes, he could, but he lost 2 positions. Nimts went by meanwhile, and somebody else, but those two are now together. Capet in front and Ries behind him. And if they are clever enough, they should now work together just to put more seconds between them and third place Urbonas. Also, looking at the lap times, Urbonas has been slower anyway, and by quite a margin. Anyway, Capet and Ries now, if they are clever, they should just work together, not fight. But this is Nimts fighting with Balciūnas, and Jan Nimts is now already in fourth, starting from 10th as a winner from race 1. Meanwhile, Capet and Ries are going to complete their 4th lap already. Capet was 4th in qualification and Ries just behind him in 4th, but here you can see that Ries seems to be a little bit faster. Capet, of course, is not going to give his lead away, but it also means that Urbonas is now closing in and Ries is going by. Ries is going by, and Urmas Ries is the new leader in front of Risto Capet. Capet didn't resist too much when he saw that Ries is going to overtake him. But this is Paul August Lääne who is now keeping Markiavicius and Kudinavicius behind him. Kudinavicius trying to overtake his compatriot from the outside through turn 4. There was no space. And there somebody was going off. That was Balciūnas, who is going to lead his position. Actually, he's going to lead many positions, but can they all go through turn 8? And Kudinavicius trying to go on the outside. It means he goes onto the grass, somehow keeps the car under control and returns to the tarmac. But he should calm down now. He should calm down and just be quick, not to try to drive through his rivals, but rather to overtake them. Meanwhile, Ries is now half a second in front of Capet and Urbonas has closed in. We can talk about the trio, or about leading trio already. Nimts is in fourth, Capet goes wide out of turn 3, and does it give a chance to Urbonas? Urbonas is closing in. Now they are in turn 5. Capet will cover the inside. Urbonas is, no, he's not going on to the outside through turn 6 and 7. But it should give Nimts a good chance to close into them. Capet is now covering his line. That was a very costly mistake which Capet made exiting turn 3. Urbonas is clearly faster now, but as we saw in race 1, it is extremely difficult to realize your speed into an overtaking maneuver. And yes, Nimts is closing in. They should see now. Capet is again on the inside through turn 1. Turn through is on to left as well, but turn 3 will be on to the right, and Urbonas is now on the inside, so Urbonas goes by, and Urbonas has overtaken Risto Capet for second, and Jan Nimts is now just 1 second behind them. Meanwhile, Urbonas made a mistake in turn 4. Can Capet take back his second place? No, he can't, but now they are together with Nimts already. So Nimts is together with second place Urbonas and third place Capet. Meanwhile, Rees is already 3.5 seconds away in clear lead. 7 laps will be completed just in few seconds. A little bit more than 10 minutes to go. And Capet is now on the outside of Urbonas, while Nimts has set the fastest lap. Urbonas runs wide through turn 10. Now his turn is to cover inside into turn 1. Capet tries the outside. It's not a good idea, I guess, because Nimts is already there and Nimts jumped to the inside. But here is Vidinavicius in 8th. And here is Nimts in front of Capet this time, in 3rd already. So perhaps Rees is too far away from him to take 2 victories in one meeting. But for sure Nimts is trying to overtake Urbonas for 2nd. There is no doubt about it. So Nimts has made really good progress from 10th. Because many of his rivals have pressed the self-destruction button, as did Capet once again. Went a little bit wide, stayed on the track, but it may also meant that Urbonas and Nimts are now far away in front of him. Urbonas is still defending, but it means that Nimts gets better exit from turn 10. Can he use his speed on the straight? No, he can't. But we have seen several overtaking maneuvers through turns 2 and 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Vidinavicius is back in 9th once again. How did he do this? We don't know. But he was in 8th 1 lap ago. Now he's back in 9th once again. Meanwhile, Lane lost his 8th position to Balchunas, and with them Vidinavicius and Peter now 4 cars together, and this time Vidinavicius tries to overtake Lane from the outside into turn 6, and he succeeds in this. It was really bold move. So Vidinavicius in 8th, Balchunas in front of him. Is Vidinavicius going to... No, he's not going to try to overtake through turn 8, but his speed over the crest is much better. And I would think that Balchunas will have a very tough time down the next straight if he can keep his position at all. Now Vidinavicius is going side by side, but has not enough speed. Turn 1, Vidinavicius is still behind Balchunas. And Lane behind them is going to lose another place, this time to Bitte. And Shubetskis is joining the party as well. Now Bitte went by. And here can Vidinavicius take P7 from Balchunas. On the outside through turn 6, it's a very risky move, putting his wheels on the grass, and no, he couldn't complete the move. Balchunas stays in 7th. But for sure Vidinavicius is no going to give up. But this is fight for P2. Urbonas in front, Nimts behind him. Through turn 10. Fastest lap set by Nimts once again, but it doesn't matter because Urbonas is in front of him. Of course, looking at the point standings, it's very fine for Nimts because his closest competitors, Kudinavicius is in 8th and Capet is in 4th, so Nimts can increase even his lead over those two. And here comes Kudinavicius. Now he's in front of Balchunas finally. And it means only 7th. While those two are disputing 2nd and 3rd place, less than 6 minutes to go. Rees is far in front of them, almost 4 seconds. Just plain sailing for him, but of course he must avoid mistakes. We saw what happened with Urbonas during race 1. Actually, we didn't saw, but we saw that he lost his lead during the final lap here in the region of turn 10. Now Nils tries outside. Urbonas closes the door. Of course, they both see Rees in front of them. And even if the gap goes down, it's still quite large, almost 4 seconds. And from Nim's perspective, there is no need to take risk. And I'm almost sure he knows very well what he's doing. If you can't overtake him, all right, take the points you can, but don't overcook it. 4.5 minutes to go. And in top 10, you can see that almost all gaps are more than 1 second, except this one in front of Jan Nimts. Simonas Urbonas is just 5 or 6 tenths away with 4 minutes to go. So Nimts has some time to resettle and make some attack during maybe final lap or penultimate lap. Still he has some time. But what happens behind them? Everybody's by them one, but Kudinavicius is now in 7th. Can he close in the gap to Markavicius in 6th? There is still more than 2.5 seconds. And here is our leader, Aurimas Rees. Started from 2nd row after being 7th in race 1. He wasn't lucky in that occasion. Rees was 5th in qualification, but made a really terrible start and lost several positions, then fought back from the outside of top 10. And now he's closing into race 2 victory. But those two, Simonas Urbonas and Jan Nimts, with 3 laps to go, I would say. Nothing is clear about P2 and P3. And while Nimts dropped away a little bit during previous 2 laps, now he's all over his Lithuanian rival. Not all over, but now he's in front through turn 1. Can he keep his position? No, no. Urbonas is in front again. At least Nimts was trying, and maybe he was not trying, but maybe it was like a rehearsal for the final lap. And here through turn 5 and into turn 6, it's almost hopeless. It's a very risky move. And Nimts thought better of it. Urbonas stays in 2nd. There was slight touch. And then Nimts made a mistake through turn 7. Maybe lost a few car lengths, but it's still not over. Certainly it is still not over. Now leader is on the penultimate lap. And you see what happened when Urbonas and Nimts started to fight. They lost 1 more second to Rees just in a few turns. Let's see if Nimts is trying anymore, or is he going to let Urbonas take second and take third himself and increase his points lead over Kudinavicius and Capet. Meanwhile, Kudinavicius is now less than second behind Markjavicius. They are 6th and 7th. Leader Rees is going through turn 8 for the penultimate time. 17 seconds remains, but he goes over the line for sure before the time runs out. Yes, so the final lap has begun for the leader and for those two as well. Nimts goes to the outside into turn 10, trying to get better exit to the following straight. Urbonas runs a little bit wide, but there are no changes of positions. And what happens with Kudinavicius and Markjavicius for P6 and 7th, it will be interesting as well. But let's follow second and third placed man, Urbonas and Nimts. Urbonas has set up a very good defense. Nimts has tried multiple times and has got his nose in front on few occasions, but has not been able to complete the move. With less than half lap to go, is he going to try into turn 7 and 8? There is touch between them, but Urbonas stays in front. Meanwhile, Rees is closing to the finish line, and Urmas Rees has won race 2. Who is going to be second? It is Urbonas. It is Urbonas. Just half a car length. Capet is 4th, Straupe 5th. Who is going to be 6th? Is it Markjavicius? Yes, it is, because Kudinavicius has dropped to 8th once again, behind Shubetskis. So Kudinavicius, we saw him, and this is Lana and Kubarevs. Kubarevs goes by, takes P11 as a result. Of course, he cut the track. Stewards has a reason to look at this result for sure. Anyway, we saw another very eventful race. Urmas Rees was winner of race 2. Simonos Urbonas finished second, 4.6 seconds behind, and was just 1/10 earlier over the line than third place Jan Nimts. Risto Capet was 4th, and third main actor Tauras Tunyla was 8th. So that was meeting number 4 or round 4 of E-BaTCC BMW 325 Cup. As we saw, fourth time in a row, Jan Nimts was the winner in race 1. Urmas Rees was second time the winner of race 2, and it means that point standings will be a little bit more interesting. Of course, Nimts will have a larger lead, but our live broadcast is not over. We will have 2 more races for BATCC real life racers who are competing in Cupra Leon competitions in their 2 races. For now, we'll make a little break in our commentaries. Stay with us, return after a few minutes. So are we going to go live? Welcome back. Welcome back to E-BaTCC Pros. And as you can see, Pros are not running Cupra Leon competitions this time, but BMWs. BMW M235s, and they are blindingly fast. Looking at the times, you can see that compared to those BMWs in the previous two races, these ones on the screen are some 6 or 7 seconds per lap faster. Although they have both traction control and ABS, but the speeds are much, much higher. And Tuomas Halonen is the points leader after first 3 rounds. And as qualification is now underway, 3.5 minutes still to go. Halonen is leading the qualification as well. But if you look at the times from qualification, they are really close compared to some previous rounds. Halonen in first and Janis Hans in 15th. They are separated by just 1.6 seconds, so the average gap is exactly 1/10, and it will be a tight race for sure. And if you take into account that cars are very fast, this track is quite bumpy and not very wide. It's almost a recipe for a very eventful race, or actually two. Last time when we raced in Estonia at the Porsche ring, Tauras Tunyla was one-off guest who won both races. And it's actually the first time during this E-BaTCC season over both classes that one driver was able to win both races during one meeting. Anyway, Halonen has 190 points after 3 rounds. Romet Reisin is in second with 153 points, so 37 points or almost one full victory behind the Finn. But in third, Kardis Osalins is just 1 point behind Reisin, 152 points. He's taller. Then fourth, Aurimas Mistautas, 138. Fifth, Matiss Mezaks, 109. And top 6 is completed by Kaspar Rudmiesis. He has 102 points. Halonen has actually won 2 races during both of first 2 rounds. He was the winner in qualification and then took a victory in race 1 as well, and has been on quite high positions in all other races, so has that mighty points lead over Reisin and Ozolinch, who both have been victorious one time. Now less than half minute to go until the end of qualification. Karlis Ozolinch is going to start from second row as it stands. He now started his final fast lap. So Richard Trubetskis has closed in to Halonen. Their gap is a little bit more than 1/10 now. And Reisin, who was second, actually he is second in point standings. He was second in qualification a few minutes ago. Now he has dropped to 8th. But the overall picture hasn't changed very much compared to those races which were raced in front-wheel drive cars. BMWs, of course, are rear-wheel drive. But as you can see, our drivers are universally good, no matter if the car is front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. obviously those are only virtual cars, not the real ones. But more or less the situation is the same. And time has run out. Shubetskis is going to complete his final lap. And he did it. So Richard Shubetskis jumped Tuomas Halonen during his very final lap by just 28 thousandths of the second. And so Richard Shubetskis will start from pole position, Tuomas Halonen from P2. Second row will be Karlis Skirmanis and Karlis Osolins, two Latvian drivers. Then third row, two Lithuanian drivers, Isidorios Paukštys and Julius Kiršis. Fourth row, Ovidius Latosa from Lithuania and Romet Reisin from Estonia. And fifth row, Nikolai Zhuravlev from Russia and Mantas Jasiulevicius from Lithuania. Race duration will be 20 minutes as well, but while BMW 325s managed to cover 15 laps during their 20 minutes, it will be, I guess, one lap more here. Anyway, we will see. The countdown is now underway. Shubetskis has only 22 points. He has taken part in only one meeting until now, and thus with those 22 points he is currently 17th in point standings. But as you can see, he is a very fast driver, and actually in real life in BMW 325s he was a race winner at Kaunas as well, so he knows at least the real world track very well, and for sure it helps here as well. So countdown will be over in a few seconds, and you see the outskirts of Nemuno Ziedas. This track is called in Lithuanian. It means something like Nemunos track. It's named after nearby river, and it is also called Kačerginė. It's the village close to the track. And if you can't remember those Lithuanian names, then you can call it Kaunas, which is second largest town in Lithuania, just 15 kilometers away from the track. Anyway, now everything is ready for the race. Shubetskis and Halonen in front row. Shubetskis on the left side in white and black car, and Halonen in black car. Actually, his team, both in real world and here, is called Black Rose. So the choice of color is very obvious for him. Everything more or less ready. 16 cars. All are on the grid and starting for a 20-minute race. Calm before the storm. As usually, it's most nervous moments for any driver. Maybe a little bit easier in simulator than in real life, because here you have no problem. If you must not think about if your engine is going to start. Now lights will be go on. Just a few seconds to the start of race 1 for E-BaTCC Pros. Lights are on. And off they go. And Karlis Osolins, who should have started from P3, is missing. Meanwhile, Shubetskis is leading into turn 1, but he's on the outside. He bangs doors with Halonen, goes off, has another collision, and oh, that's basically it's all over for Shubetskis. Even not going through the first turn. Actually, it's called turn 10, bizarrely. And this one is turn 1. Halonen is leading in front of Kirsis and Raisin looks very racy, trying to overtake Lithuanian. Actually, Raisin started from row 4, so he has made a really good progress. And Baltic States is also joining the party. Turn 6, and now the most steep climb begins here, and Kirsis is just behind the leader Halonen. Racing still fourth, but Jasuljavičius and Latosa side by side. Somebody went wide there, and it is Latosa went off in turn 8, and it may mean that the race is over for him. At least his car is damaged, and meanwhile Racing has taken second place away from Kirsis. Jasuljavičius is now fourth, and Jasuljavičius fifth, and Baustis sixth. And Šubeckis is still continuing down in 14th, but still on track. And of course, we don't know what is the situation with his car. How fast is it? It's damaged, that's for sure. But this now is bad. Oh! Cars are flying everywhere, left and right, through turns 2 and 3. And Racing is now already all over Halonen. So Halonen, who was second in qualification, and Racing, who was only eighth. Now they are together. And Racing looks like he wants to overtake the Finn as quickly as possible, because Kirsis is running together with them. And leading trio has more than 3 seconds in hand. In fourth, there is Mantas Jasuljavičius, who is more than 3 seconds behind those three. Halonen, Racing, Kirsis. Of course, there is 17 minutes to go. There is no need to rush for Racing. It's important to keep the pace of Halonen. Meanwhile, Kirsis is now showing himself to Racing into almost every turn. And as a result, Halonen has got a little bit of a breathing space. Turn 6, Kirsis is not going to the inside. Very risky place to try to overtake here. Those cars has traction control and ABS, but still they are very fast, and on this bumpy track it can be very tricky to keep them under control, especially over those two crests in turn 7 and 8. And here Kirsis looks to Racing's inside into turn 10, but it was really only look, nothing serious. Šubeckis is now back in 8th from 14th after that turn 10 crash on opening lap. And is it now change of position? Yes, it is. It was... I'm really unable to tell you who it was. This was third in the middle in that trio, but this is leading trio, and Halonen is now 1 second down to the road from Racing. So Racing looks more to his mirrors than in front. Kirsis is not their direct danger for him right now, but for sure Kirsis has been far enough. And we will see what happens to the tires of those cars, because it's the first race start in those BMWs. And here comes Latosa, and next one, this one is Šubeckis in 8th already. Then Hans, Zhuravlyov and Skirmanis together, and Zhuravlyov is trying, actually he already overtook Hans for 9th. Zhuravlyov is first in this trio. Hans second and Skirmanis third. And Reisin and Kirsi are dropping away from Halonen little by little. Halonen and Reisin are now separated by 1.5 seconds. And Reisin is still defending himself from Kirsi's attention. There hasn't been any serious overtaking attempts, but Kirsis is showing himself every way, and now they are side by side almost. Kirsis is on the inside entering turn 1. Is he going to outbreak his Estonian rival? Yes, he is. It's very fast turn, but now Reisin tried to take his position back, but the next turn 3 is to the right, and this is not place where you will overtake, but Kirsis made a mistake here. Can Reisin jump him? It's very difficult. Through turn 6. And Reisin thinks better about it. So now Julius Kirsis is in second. Romet Reisin in third. And they can continue their battle because Isidorius Paukštis in fourth is almost 5 seconds down the road behind them. And what is Šubetskis doing? No chances to improve his position. He's still in 8th and 4 seconds behind Latosa. So this was poleman. Šubetskis started from the pole position, but made quite a bad start. Had a collision with Tuomas Halonen into turn 1, and then some more collisions and was sent off track. Dropped to 14th and now trying to fight back. Actually, he has been quite good fighting back. He's gained 6 positions already, but this is Anzulavicius, and he gained a position. Sorry, it was Latosa because Anzulavicius went off and now he's standing in the... Luckily, he was rolling away, so Tautvydas Anzulavicius made a mistake and lost his 6th position to Ovidius Latosa himself. Anzulavicius is now 13th already, so basically he lost everything. And Kirsis has managed to drop away Reisin. Or is he? Yes, he is. What has happened? Why Reisin is in the pits? Did they collide? Because they... Wow, that was strange. Anyway, Istorius Paukštis is now second, and Matas Jazuljavicius is third, while Kirsis has dropped to fourth, and Reisin has shown being in pit. So whatever happened there, but it was a weird situation. The question is, can Kirsis fight back? And Janis Hans has went wide through turn 10. Very strange things happening during those few laps. And here is Reisin back on the track. And basically his speed is still there. Uldis Timaks is in front of him in that another yellow car. But this is leader. This is leader Tuomas Halonen, now clearly in front of Isidorius Paukštis. The gap is huge. Meanwhile, Kirsis is shown as being in the pits as well. Is it penalty? Drive-through penalty or whatever has happened, but he's losing positions as well. Now outside of top 10, and somebody was very much sideways. Is it Janis Hans in turn 8? Yes, he is. So a lot of happening on the lower positions. But yes, Halonen in the lead is now 10 seconds in front of Paukštis. Still 9 minutes to go, but it should be all plain sailing for Halonen. Just not to make mistakes. And another victor will be his. This is Paukštis in P2 and Mantas Jasulavičius in P3. Of course, you can see that there are some lapped cars already, so the picture is not any. Whoa, somebody over the final crest. It was Karlis Skirmanis in a very dangerous situation. Luckily, nobody hit him. But it is Nikolai Shuralyov here in that blue, red and white car in... No, sorry, it's Mantas Jasulavičius. Third placed Mantas Jasulavičius. Actually, the livery is exactly the same as is Uldis Shuralyov, so that's a confusion. In front of Latosa, and they will battle for the P3. Actually, Paukštis in second place is not that far away from them anyway, and Shubetskis have managed to recover to fifth already with 7.5 minutes to go. We will see. Shubetskis certainly is faster than those in front of him by almost half a second. So having 3.5 second gap, it will be difficult. It will be difficult for Shubetskis, but if Latosa and Jasulavičius and maybe Paukštis as well will start fighting between themselves, Shubetskis can catch them up and maybe gain some more positions. Of course, it was pity for him to lose his pole position in that way. But as Kimi Räikkönen says, it is what it is, and Shubetskis must now simply put his head down and fight as he can. Romet Racing, who was in the starting phase of the race, was just behind Halonen and maybe even trying to take the lead. Now he's back in 12th. Main thing is that he's continuing, and oh, he overtook Janis Hans through turn 7. You need really big balls to do this in turn 7, but of course Hans was much slower than Racing. Now Latosa and Jasulavičius in front of him, and Latosa has been much faster than his compatriot over last few laps. Can he... Oh, made a little mistake, went a little bit wide into turn 6, and Jasulavičius now managed to put a few car lengths between himself and Latosa. Here one only slight mistake and your race may be over. Halonen meanwhile overtook Kirsis. Now Kirsis has been lapped actually. Actually he's lapped 2 times already, or even 3. But this is fight for 3rd and 4th. Ovidius Latosa in front. Sorry, Mantas Jasulavičius in front and Ovidius Latosa behind him. Latosa is taking alternative lines. And Subetskis, you see, Subetskis is just 1.2 seconds behind Latosa. So more or less there is a trio of cars starting to fight for third. And I would say that Subetskis, looking at his pace, is very much in contention for third. Actually, he is a favorite for third. Also, on the other hand, there is only 4 minutes remaining, and it will be really, really difficult for him. But everything is possible while checkered flag is not out, and there is a collision, and Subetskis is now in third without doing anything. Meanwhile, Latosa went off heavily from turn 10 and lost 3 positions. It remains to be seen how fast his car will be after that off. But anyway, Tuomas Halonen is now leading in front of Isitorius Paukštys and Richard Subetskis. Mantus Jasilavicius is fourth. Nikolai Zhuralyov already fifth. But they are separated by actually they were separated by 1.4 seconds only because it looks like Zhuralyov has disappeared. Was it disconnection or whatever? So Jasilavicius is now firmly in fourth. But Subetskis is closing in to Paukštys, and Subetskis can be second. He still can be second. Here is the gap, and it is non-existent. Oh, Subetskis is running all over the grass. We saw it in the previous race for BMW 325 Cup when Tauras Tunyla tried to fight back. And Subetskis is doing exactly the same. But he has been much more successful. Fought back from P14 to P3. And second place car, Isitorius Paukštys, is just in front of him with 2 minutes to go. And it means that when they will complete their current lap, there will be 2 more laps. Subetskis is so much faster, but he's now overdriving certainly, going wide almost in every corner. Again, the receipt for Subetskis, calm down a little bit, put it everything onto one card, because you are so much faster than the car in front of you. Of course, Subetskis is an experienced driver. He knows what to do, but this battle is for P5, 6, 7, and 8. And Matiss Mezaks is now fifth in front of Oluidus Latosa, Kardis Osolins, and Uldis Timaks. But 4 cars through the same turn. Oh, it's so close. Mezaks, Latosa, Osolins, Timaks. And Timaks spun off through turn 4. Mezaks, Latosa, Osolins. And this is Laurinas Simoniavicius making donuts on the grass. And now is it Latosa trying to overtake Mezaks through turn 8 and 7 and 8? It's not a good idea. And actually he lost his position to Osolins. Meanwhile, Mezaks has a little breathing space and time is running out. And it means that at least leaders are now on the final lap. Paukštys is still second, but Subetskis is now all over him. And Subetskis dives into turn 3. Can he stay on the track? Has a slide, but stays in second. Paukštys has better exit, but this is our leader, Tuomas Halonen, just to turns to go, and then he will have another victory. And Halonen is over the line, and Paukštys made a spin in turn 6. Was there a collision or not? We don't know, but Šubeckis will be second, and Matas Jasulavičius will inherit third from Paukštys. Here comes Šubeckis, the poleman. And even if his race was really eventful, he took P2. Matas Jasulavičius will be third, and there's another collision. And that was Matiss Mezaks, who lost several positions. Mezaks crossed the line in 6th. Latosa was in front of him. Osorinch was 7th. Anzilavicius 8th. Timaks takes 9th. And Racing completes top 10. So that was it for the winner, Tuomas Halonen. It was really plain sailing, apart from maybe the first 2 or 3 laps. Then he just checked out, and others behind him started to crash into each other. Meanwhile, Halonen's winning margin in front of Šubeckis was more than 20 seconds, basically 1/3 of that lap. Now we have only one race remaining, race 2 for our E-BaTCC Pros, and as usually, top 10 from race 1 finish will start in reversed order for race 2, and it means that Romet Racing and Uldis Timaks will start race 2 from the front row. Small break in our comments, and we will return in a few minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back. Welcome back to the 4th race of E-BaTCC round 4. Our BATCC Pros are back on the track once again for a second race. Romet Racing and Uldis Timaks will start from the front row. We should have 16 cars, but I can't see Nikolai Zhuravlyov, who disappeared from race 1. Somehow maybe he had a disconnection or some other connection problems. Anyway, he's not present. And race 1 was won by Tuomas Halonen, points leader. He's in that all black BMW. And those who under number 115. And yes, previous 3 rounds, our pros were racing Cupra Leon competitions. This time we have BMWs. And now lights will be on in few seconds. And here we go. And the race has started. And how good takeoff Racing had. And Timaks was a little bit lazy out of his grid position. So Romet Racing leads the pack through turn 10. Yes, this is turn 10 on the track, and this is Matiss Mezaks running off and dropping away into the ravine. Meanwhile, Racing Osolin Timaks is a top 3, and there is another collision. Ovidius Latosa running wide from turn 1. And who was the other one running wide from turn 1? It's difficult to determine. Ooh, track is somehow very narrow this time, especially during the opening lap. Richard Shubetskis, who won the qualification, and then he's in trouble once again. No, he's in third, but that was Uldis Timaks. Oh, which way, sir? Which way are you running? So Racing Osolins Shubetskis is top 3 towards the finisher race 1. Halonen is already in 4th, but there is huge fight for P5 between 4 cars. Rudmiesis, Paukštis, Jasuljavičius and Skirmantas. And Racing has now, yes, 1.5 seconds lead over Osolins. But Shubetskis is very close to Osolins, just 1 second behind. And we saw in race 1 that Shubetskis had very good pace despite damaged car. And another crash. Unfortunately, this is only simulator cars flying high, but they can continue. Yeah. It's like in a fairy tale. And this is Julius Kirsis. What's his problem? Maybe he has only 3 wheels. Somehow he can't move. Meanwhile, Halonen has dropped to... He's dropping, actually. What has happened to Halonen? This is Isidorius Paukštis in that white BMW in 5th. But where is Halonen? He is in 8th. Still running, but he lost 4 positions. And Kirsis is still standing in the middle of the track between turn 4 and 5. And it would be really tough for cars coming. He's not on the racing line, but yeah, car is able to move a little bit, but just a little bit. Paukštis looking to Rudmiesis in front of him. Their fight is going for 4th and 5th. This was one of the main actors in race 1. And of course, he has been very fast. This is leader, Romet Racing. But Karlis Ozolinš is just 1.1 seconds behind the leader. And actually, they were second and third in point standings before today's meeting, separated by just 1 point. Racing had 153, Ozolinš had 152. Wow, what is Kirsis doing there? And it was Ozolinš who either hit him or tried to avoid and spun as a result, and it means that Richard Šubeckis is now second, Kaspars Rudmies is third, Isidorius Paukštis fourth, and Ozolinš dropped to fifth. So Racing is now clearly in lead. Šubeckis is 2.3 seconds behind, but can he close in? And it will be another surprise for drivers every next lap. Where is that yellow BMW between turns 4 and 5? Is it in the middle of the track? Is it on the left side? Is it on the right side? But this is Halonen, who went wide through turn 10, trying to overtake Mantas Jasudavicius in front of him. No changes here. But let's see what has happened to Kirsis. And Halonen tries into turn 3 against Mezaks. Still 8th. And it seems that Kirsis has disappeared. No, he hasn't. He's still in the middle of the track. There should be something to do with his, I don't know, computer or steering wheel or something. But the situation is still dangerous. And Ozolinš, you can see that hood is bent on his car, but he bites on and tries to take fourth away from Isidorius Paukštis, throws himself onto the inside of turn 10. And then Julius Kirbantas is just a few meters behind Ozolinš, looking for his chance, and here it is. No, it isn't. Ozolinš keeps his P5 in front of Skirmanis. And this view comes from Skirmanis' car, and he was sideways out of turn 3. And now lost out. Ooh, Kirsis' car is still there. And the main thing, if it's stationary, then it's not that big problem. Everybody knows where the car stands. But if it's going to move from one lap to another, then it may be much more dangerous. Meanwhile, Racing is leading after 6 laps, but Šubeckis has closed the gap to 1.6 seconds. And Šubeckis was almost half a second faster than Racing during the previous lap. And if he can close in that rate, then Racing and Šubeckis will be together during the next lap, perhaps already. We will see, but there is no danger from behind for Šubeckis because Rudmies is in third. Another car spinning out. It is Uldis Timaks, very experienced driver in real life, but in this race he has one trouble after another. And Halonen behind Mezaks. Mezaks should be a lap down. Yes, because timing shows that Halonen is behind Jasjuljavicius by 1.4 seconds. And this is Mezaks. Mezaks must be shown blue flags. But for whatever reason, he keeps fighting with Halonen, who is one lap in front of him. Meanwhile, those two are the leaders, and gap has come down clearly. You can see it from the picture, you can see it from the timing. Shubetskis has now only 7 or 8 tenths between himself and the leader. And if you are going to think about betting, then I would think that you wouldn't bet on racing. Meanwhile, on the background, Halonen tried to overtake Mezaks once again, but Mezaks kept going. Does it mean that now Halonen has gained a position because Latosa somehow has dropped behind him? So now Halonen can show Kaspar Rudmies is in the pit for whatever reasons. But this is now Richard Shubetskis. Try hunting leader Romet Racing, and through turn 6 they go. Shubetskis went to the inside, but didn't make the move. There is a back marker in front of them. Is it Simonavicius perhaps in a yellow car? Simonavicius hasn't been very cooperative, we have seen during previous rounds, but let's see what happens this time. He's going to fight with Racing. No, he's not. Or is he? He's not. He's fighting with Shubetskis. So Shubetskis finally managed to lap Simonavicius. But Simonavicius goes to the inside for turn 3 and spins off after that. I think Shubetskis now had some breath after it, and here is Halonen in black BMW, now already in 6th and all over Jasjuljavicius in front of him. Halonen certainly has much better pace than those drivers around him, but the question is how to realize his speed, how to jump Jasjuljavicius first, then catch Ozolinch and maybe even Paukštis. And through he goes over the crest in turn 8. Wow, that was crazy move. But anyway, Halonen is now in 5th already. Points leader Tuomas Halonen made a bold move through turns 7 and 8. And he is now in 5th. Meanwhile, Racing is still the leader in front of Shubetskis, who is non-existent gap. Shubetskis has his lights on to distract the leader. And he had much better exit from turn 4. Racing covers the inside into turn 6. And Halonen tries to overtake another car. It should be a lapped car of Simonavicius. Almost went off. But Halonen is now in 4th already. Leaders still fighting. 11 laps are now completed by them. But you can see that Shubetskis has been much faster than Racing, and now he goes by through turn 10. So Richard Shubetskis, the poleman, who finished 2nd in race 1, is now leader in race 2 in front of Romet Racing. Isidorius Paukštis is third. And is it Ovidius Latosa? No, it was Karlis Ozolinš. Šubetskis in front, racing just a few meters behind him. Kirmanis and Latosa here, disputing for 6th and 7th. Latosa had a look into turn 3, but Kirmanis didn't let the door open. And Šubetskis, the new leader, took the lead exactly 1 lap ago. 5 minutes 15 seconds still to go, and racing has picked up his pace as well. Šubetskis was able to catch him quite quickly, but after switching the positions, racing at least 1.5 laps now has managed to keep the pace of the leader. Goes a little bit sideways through turn 3. And those little mistakes were the ones which actually costed racing his lead. Kirmanis and Latosa once again. Kirmanis is in 6th, Latosa in 7th. Just half a second separating them. No one in front, no one behind them. Interesting to see if Halonen, I think, is not able to catch Paukštis. 6.6 seconds and only 4 minutes to go. It's almost impossible task. But for this man, Ovidius Latosa, it seems very possible to jump Karlis Kirmanis in front of him. He's going to do it into turn 10 this time. Closing in under braking. Running a little bit wide, but does it give him a better exit? No, it didn't. And Mezaks, who is 1 lap down with Simoniavicius, they are both 1 lap down. Both have had very eventful race. Both have tried to race the leaders without any success. Just running off the track, and it's Mezaks' car is very, very second-hand. But he tries to overtake Simoniavicius, going off the track and going into barriers in turn 6, flying high. And is it this Latosa? Yes, it is, in turn 7 with his battle with Skirmanis. So Skirmanis has won that duel for 6th. Latosa is standing at the barriers in turn 7, and probably this race is over for him. Meanwhile, there is another duel. Tautvidas Anžuļavičius and Karlis Ozolinš fight for P7. Anžuļavičius in front and Ozolinš just behind him. Ozolinš, of course, needs every point. Oh, his front screen is broken on Ozolinš's car, and hood is bent as well, but he has not lost his speed. And Anžuļavičius is keeping 7th place, but as I told, Ozolinš needs every point to keep with racing. Racing was 2nd and Ozolinš 3rd before this meeting. Just 1 point separated them, and now Ozolinš goes for it through turn 9. No changes here. Turn 10. It just keeps the inside, but now Osalinch is side by side with him and has the inside for next turn. Still Anzulavicius stays in front. And that is 6th place. Mantas Jasulavicius, actually, he is now 6th. He was 5th. Skirmanis gained 1 position thanks to this spin. And Osalinch still hunts Anzulavicius for 7th. And maybe they are able to catch Jasulavicius in front of them. So that there is maybe some 50 meters only. But Anzulavicius is certainly very slow, trying to defend into every corner. Osalinch certainly has the speed, but has not found a way to realize that speed. Final lap is underway. And Richard Shubetskis started this lap almost 3 seconds earlier than Romet Raisin, and Raisin in turn has more than 10 seconds in hand over Isidorius Paukštis in 3rd. Here comes the leader. Just 1 turn, and then there is the finish line for Richard Shubetskis. And Shubetskis has won race 2. Romet Raisin takes 2nd position, and Isidorius Paukštis, as it stands, will be 3rd. Let's see. Yes, he will be 3rd, and Tuomas Halonen comes home 4th. Karlis Skirmanis should be 5th. And here he comes. But what happens to positions 6, 7, and 8? There are 3 cars. No, Jasulavicius will be 6th. Anzulavicius 7th, and Osalinch stays in 8th. And it may be quite costly for him in the point standings against Raisin. Halonen stays as a points leader, there is no doubt about it. But Richard Shubetskis put in a fine race after disappointment from race 1, where he started from pole, but crashed into turn 1 and dropped to the back. Anyway, that was 4th and the final race of E-BaTCC round 4. The final round, round 5, will happen exactly in 1 week time. Then we will race in Riga once again on Bikernäki Ring of Speed, the classic 3.66 kilometer track. Meanwhile, enjoy the winter and have a nice evening. Event from Nemuno Ziedas at Kaunas was brought to you by Toomas Halonen. See you next week. Bye.